Hey you guys, it's TB. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about how toxic relationships are just as much of a destruction to our lives as substance abuse, like drugs, alcohol, etc. And this is why. I'm making this video with empathy because I had a toxic person that was and is still part of my life, and I just know that when I am involved with this person, that everything that I work for, everything that I feel is good about me, all the confidence that I build up in between going in and out with this individual was causing me to have setbacks, was causing me to not be the best version of myself. I would be doing really, really well, and then when I would find myself back in another toxic cycle with my person, I became all the things that I was striving not to be, and instead of making progress, I was regressing. When we find ourselves in a relationship with a toxic person, we typically lose who we are. We lose a sense of self or identity, and then when we lose that, we lose our confidence. And when we lose our confidence, everything else follows suit. So, you can experience paranoia. You can be in a constant state of, anything that happened during that toxic relationship, it puts you into a state that constantly makes you question yourself, constantly makes you question the situation, constantly makes you question how the individual feels about you. And if your toxic person ever tells anybody else that you're crazy, this is what she does, this is what he does, see how crazy he is, that is part of the control that the toxic person wants to gain. And that is also, it's not true. You may feel crazy. You may be doing quote unquote crazy things as described by this person, but that doesn't mean that you're crazy. That just means that you've been put into a state of mind that has caused you not to be able to make normal, rational decisions, because when we find ourselves in toxic relationships with toxic people for too long, we do kind of lose all sense of rational thought processes, and we lose our ability to be able to think clearly because we're always in a heightened state. We're always in a paranoid state. We're always in a state of panic. We're always in a state of mistrust. Whatever it is, that's what's causing this craziness to come out. Because whatever this person has done or is doing is causing this heightened state. And it's awareness. Once they've lied to you once they've cheated on you once, whatever it is, they always come back in and say, I'm sorry, say all the right things. But that doesn't erase the slate. It doesn't change what caused you to become this way in the first place. A lot of people who are able to look at a situation like this and criticize those who haven't experienced this but can look at it in an unbiased way and look at it outside looking in, and they think, why would you put up with that? Why would you continue to go back to that person? Why would you voluntarily put yourself in this position in the first place? And those are very valid questions. They're, the person that's involved in the relationship, going in and out and dealing with the toxicity, is, trust me, also asking themselves the same thing, because deep down inside, we know, I know, that it's not good for you. It's not good for you. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't fill your cup, so to speak. It drains you. Being aware is even worse, but there's something very conniving, very manipulative about the individual, and this usually happens to good people. This usually happens to people who are vulnerable in the first place, people who have experienced a little bit of trauma, you know, maybe in their childhood or their adult life, whatever it is. If it's not that, these are the people that are generally very nice, very giving, very caring. They're the givers. The givers attract the takers, and the takers know who the givers are. And so, you know, they're not gonna, they know what qualities you possess. They know what you bring to the table. They're not gonna be with somebody like them because they wouldn't reap any benefits from it. So it's important for them to seek out people with such qualities to be able to gain something from the dynamic. So it's a compliment to the person that is giving, but it's also, it's confusing for the person, because sometimes we think, well, maybe if I wasn't so giving, maybe if I wasn't so kind, maybe, you know, nice guys finish last, nice girls finish last, whatever it is, it makes you feel guilty for just being yourself, for being a good person. You feel like maybe if I wasn't generous, so kind, so giving, that I wouldn't have brought this on myself. And that is something that is unavoidable in situations like these. It's not a good way to go forward. You know, if you find yourself coming out of this and you're in a healing phase, you know, you should never stop being who you are because somebody took advantage of that. You know, you should continue to be whoever you want to be the person that makes you feel the best, you know, be your best self, and don't take into consideration what somebody did to you. Don't, you know, let somebody devaluing you and taking away, you know, any kind of self-worth that they were able to take from you and use that to cut yourself down and, you know, take this on as if you did something wrong, because it's common for people who take, you know, once you start standing up for yourself, once you start calling them out on their lies and their betrayal, they will gaslight you. They will make you feel like you're crazy. They will make you feel like you're a psycho. All the things that they gaslight you with, all the names that they call you just for sticking up for yourself and holding them accountability for what they've done to you. Holding them accountable, for what they've done to you. And it's infuriating when you finally figure out what's going on and you finally have a handle on, you know, the manipulation and their patterns and everything that they've done leading up to this point. It's infuriating because you've allowed yourself to feel like you're not worth it, like you are the problem, you're the one. But, you know, take accountability where you feel the need to take accountability, but it doesn't do anybody any good to continue to go through and analyze everything and then cut yourself down even more, you know, by ripping yourself apart and saying, why didn't I see this? Why didn't I stop this? Why didn't I do what I had to do to get myself out of it? Because, you know, that's not who I am. I'm not this weak person. I'm not this doormat. You know, don't do that to yourself, because it really does not do anything positive. It doesn't help lift you up. It's just more negative self-talk, and it's like, they've already done this to you enough. You don't need to do it to yourself. But, you know, when you do become aware and you do become conscious of what is happening and you do become aware of the patterns and all that stuff, do your best to, you know, keep that awareness. Try not to let yourself fall back into those patterns. It's very hard. That's why I said this video is going to be about how toxic relationships are just as destructive sometimes as substances are, because in a way, you know, we wouldn't keep going back to this person. It's not to say that you're addicted to this person. It's just to say that you're more likely to forgive this person the way that somebody is more likely to relapse, because when it's good, it's really good, right? And when it's bad, it's really bad. And that's the thing. It's like drugs, they make you feel good. They give you this high. They give you this happiness. These types of people that you find yourself in toxic relationships, like when it's really good, that's that high. That's that love that you keep remembering. It's that person that you met initially that you fell in love with, and every now and then they show you a glimpse of that person, right? That person comes back out, especially when they want to try to, find their way back in. They let that mask drop and they reveal that wonderful person that was able to reel you in, and this is the same, fake person that they continue to use to reel you back in, to give you that good feeling, to make you feel loved and uplift you. And they're capable of all this. That's what's so frustrating about these types of relationships, is that they're capable of giving you this kind of love, and yet they choose to take advantage of you. They choose to take from you. Trying to understand why. Why do they do this to me? Why do they do what they do? Why do I keep falling for it? That is different for everyone. Some people feel so incredibly insecure that they actually have this distorted way of thinking that they couldn't possibly believe that someone could care about them. They can't wrap their head around what real love feels like, because maybe they never received it growing up, or whatever the situation is. People are not just born this way. People are affected by their environment. They're affected by their parents. They're affected by their upbringing. They're affected by environmental factors that cause them to become the way they are. And these people that take, unfortunately, their backgrounds are usually, they come from childhoods where they didn't get enough attention. Mom or dad wasn't there. Somebody was a negative influence in their life. Somebody manipulated them. And you can come out of it and you can be exactly the opposite. You can be a giver. You can do everything. You can take a situation and you can overcome it, and you can say, I was treated this way. I would never want to make somebody else feel this way. But then there are people that are truly affected by it differently. Their brain chemistry is different. So they take away something from the situation that is completely opposite of what another person, and it's like, no, I was treated this way. I don't think toxic people like this intentionally, I don't think they're really truly aware of what they're doing and the impact that they're making on other people, because in a way they're trying to protect themselves by either not getting close enough or not letting you get close enough, or they justify what they do to you by, the way that you react to it. Say they lied to you and you catch them in it, and instead of just being like, oh, you lied to me, that's fine, people lie, it's okay, you hold them accountable, and this makes them angry. You're not letting them get away with it. You're not letting them be, this conniving person, that they actually believe that they have the a reason to be this way. People have given them a reason. If it weren't for people, they wouldn't be this way. That's how they think. They have a victim mentality that causes them to actually think that they have leverage, that they have the right to treat people this way, because they wouldn't be this way if it weren't for the other people in their lives that mistreated them. So they already are on their high horse. They think that, they have the right to be the way they are to you. That, they've earned this right. They've been through so much. They've been hurt so much by people that it's okay if I cheat on him or her. It's okay if I lie to him or her, because, some of them think that you'll actually do it to them. So it's like, I'm going to be one step ahead. I'm going to do this before it can be done to me. And it's a terrible, terrible cycle. It's very sad for the toxic individual who takes, because they often self-sabotage. They often lose very valuable, genuine people who would never do this sort of things because they don't allow themselves to be vulnerable. They don't allow themselves to be open to those who actually have good intentions and pure intentions to love them and, do them no harm. But to these people, everyone's going to do them harm. Or, there's just people out there that are just plain manipulative. They lie, they cheat, they do everything to gain something from this other person. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Whatever the situation is, it varies in these types of relationships. But more than not, these people know what they're doing. They're aware that they're doing it, and they are aware of who they've chosen. They are aware of their victim, and they are aware of all their victim's qualities, and they're going to take those qualities and turn around and make you feel worthless while also realizing themselves how valuable you are, how much of a positive asset you are to the dynamic. Because remember earlier when I said they wouldn't pick you if you weren't great. They wouldn't pick somebody that didn't have a lot to give, but they don't want you to think that. They want to cut you down so that you continue to be this great person, but now you're too insecure to leave them. They've got you right where they want you to be, because if you knew what they knew, if you truly knew how they saw you, you would go out and get somebody that would appreciate all that. If they built you up like a healthy partner, you wouldn't need them. You would go out and get the person that, you truly deserve, but they need you to be under their thumb. They need to demean you so that you don't go out and find out just how much damage this person has done and find a healthy person. They couldn't have that, because then they would lose their valuable person. They would lose, all sense of security. So they need you to feel bad about yourself so that you stick around and you keep trying to please them. And more often than not, we so willingly do. But the point of this video is that if you haven't left, or if you have left and you keep going back, more importantly, remember how you feel when you get done with the heartache and the pain and you start to feel good. You start to build yourself back up. That confidence starts building right before they come in with their sweet nothings and their promise. You know what I'm talking about. Those same empty promises. All the right things they say every time. Every time. They know what works. They know exactly what to say to get you back. But think about the progress that you are making. Think about how good you feel during that separation. Once you can get past those tears and that frustration, think about that feeling. You're not feeling that by coincidence. You're feeling that because you're being separated from your abuser, from your toxic person. You don't have that little voice in your ear anymore whispering to you, you're a psycho, you're crazy, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have anything. Whatever it is that they tell you, whatever it is that they use to cut you down, you don't have that as a distraction anymore. You don't have anybody telling you that that's who you have to be, because you know who you are. You know how valuable you are. You know that you don't deserve this, and you start to become awakened to those realizations when you separate yourself from these types of people. So when we go back, it is self-destruction. When we become aware and conscious, that's when we have to take accountability. That's when we have to stop blaming the other person, because we are aware we're better off without them. We are aware how shitty they make us feel. So when you go back hoping for a change and hoping for something different and they give you the same results, that's when we have to take accountability. That's when it crosses the line into self-destruction. So just, remind yourself how good you feel when you're in separation, and remind yourself that if you just keep pushing forward, if you keep moving forward, that it will continue to get better, and you will keep making progress, and you will keep persevering forward, and hopefully one day you will find yourself in a healthy situation with somebody who really does value you, who really does care for you, and somebody that doesn't make you feel the same feelings that you did before, because you've learned, you've been there, you've done that, that's not what you want. That's not how you want to feel. That's not how love feels. So hopefully this video helps, and hopefully you can realize your worth and you realize your value, and one day you can say enough is enough and really mean it, and move forward knowing that you are enough, you are worthy, and no one can take that away from you, not unless you let them. So as always, be well, and take care, and thank you for watching the channel. Please like and subscribe and follow the channel if you find videos like this helpful. There will be more to come, and thank you so much for watching.